Welcome to a special edition of Chesterfield Behind the Mic. I am Brad Franklin, creative content writer here in Chesterfield. I'm really excited about being able to bring you this special edition of the show. I'd like to welcome Lorin Sodell from CCAM, which is the Commonwealth Center for Advanced Manufacturing.
That's right.
He is the Director of Advanced Manufacturing Program at CCAM. He's also the Director of External and Industry Engagement at the College of Engineering and Technology, Virginia State University. Lorin, welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you very much. I'm great. Thank you, and thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, I think this is it's an interesting topic for me because the more I've learned in the last few days, weeks about advanced manufacturing, it's become very apparent to me that I didn't know anything about advanced manufacturing, and I'm pretty sure that there are probably a lot of people out there who don't know a whole lot about advanced manufacturing. So let's talk a little bit about CCAM and how it is that you got involved with CCAM and sort of what it is that you do. Talk to us a little bit about advanced manufacturing.
Sure. Well, first, I've been in manufacturing for about 36 years now, and what I've been finding is that about every 5 years, the definition of it changes again. So I'm learning it. So when you figure it out, let me know, and we'll keep up with it. But yeah, I've been in manufacturing for quite a long time. I tell people I'm a recovering manufacturing engineer and factory manager. I spent 14 years in the automotive industry as an engineer and as a manager, and then transitioned to aerospace, worked for a couple of companies, most recently Rolls-Royce, where I built and ran the facility that was down in Prince George County until I retired from there at the beginning of 2019. But advanced manufacturing is a term that's been evolving, will continue to evolve, and is really exciting for people in the business like I am, in manufacturing, in engineering, because it gives us an opportunity to just learn something new and be part of something that is really competitive, and an opportunity, creating job opportunities for people, and to help keep us competitive as a culture here in the U.S. So it's something that's been changing over time, and glad to talk about it with you here.
So in terms of, you mentioned job opportunities. In terms of jobs, talk to me about some of the types of jobs that are sort of involved within advanced manufacturing, and how does that connect with localities like ours?
Well, first of all, advanced manufacturing, and I've learned this over time, is not associated with any one specific industry like aerospace, which is what I'm most recently from, or semiconductor manufacturing or anything like that. Advanced manufacturing cuts across many different industries. And keep in mind now, so many of our industries are interconnected with one another. We hear about things like chip shortages for the manufacture of vehicles. The semiconductor industry is absolutely a critical part of the supply chain for other industries like automotive, like aerospace, like defense type industries. So the jobs that are labeled as advanced manufacturing jobs are really those that require combinations of skills that are important for participants in a workforce to have. And they're exciting jobs. These are not the boring assembly line jobs that you might have a picture in your mind of older generations or something like that. These are jobs that require critical thinking, they require math skills, they require a STEM education, not necessarily a 4-year education, but they definitely require people to be able to think and process and autonomously make decisions that impact the quality and ultimately the cost of whatever the products are that they're producing. So computer manufacturing, chip manufacturing, and then all sorts of other industries rely on tools and technologies that are all kind of under a very broad umbrella of advanced manufacturing.
Yeah. You mentioned a minute ago the idea of like what people might have the picture in their mind, and that's kind of where I wanted to go next. The misconceptions, because when I first started, when you hear the term advanced manufacturing, your brain kind of does connect it with like a different sort of than what research told me it actually was, in the sense that you think of manufacturing, you think covered in grease, this is a tough job, and that's not to say that the jobs aren't still tough, but it's a different type of job. What are some of the misconceptions that you've seen about advanced manufacturing in your career?
There are a lot, and it's a lot of misconceptions, and it's very hard to overcome them. The biggest misconceptions are around the safety of the role, that they're dead-end jobs and that they don't go anywhere. And nothing could in fact be further from the truth on either of those counts. Most of the advanced manufacturing industries, certainly the ones that I've come from, are extremely clean. People like to say, "Wow, you can eat off the floors in this place," and that's a true statement, actually. Yeah. Okay, the kinds of products that we buy now demand that they're produced in ultra clean environments. The safety of equipment and facilities has gone up immeasurably since my career began, and that's an important point. And it's an important point for young people who are considering what kind of career they're going to pursue, and for their families and friends who are influencing them as to what kinds of career paths that they can pursue. So that's a very important distinction. You mentioned something that I thought was very interesting. You said the jobs are tough, and they are tough, okay, but they're not tough in the way that you would have thought about, that you're going to come home with grease all over you,
sore back and
things like that. They're mentally tough, okay, and that means that you have to be prepared to think, you have to be prepared to make decisions, you have to be prepared to be accountable for the kinds of things that you're doing, the companies that you're going to be working for, or perhaps if you're an entrepreneur and starting out on your own company, these are very, very challenging jobs. This is a global economy. It always will be now a global economy, and our competition isn't necessarily the company across the street. It's the company halfway around the world. And so it is tough in that context, and you have to be a competitor. You have yourself, and you have to be prepared to go in and be accountable and take on a challenge. And they are challenging jobs, and that's in turn a lot of what makes them fun.
You mentioned the global economy, and obviously if there's anything we've learned in the last, 12, 18, 24 months, it's that supply chain, having control over those things is integral to your success in your economy. And it certainly feels like a lot of jobs are coming back onshore. At least that's the hope, right? As someone who works with CCAM, who works with this every day, who's preparing, potential workers for the roles, and also helping companies figure out solutions for specific, problems that they might have in terms of producing this product or producing that one. I'm just curious, what trends are you seeing across that totality of industry we refer to as advanced manufacturing? What are some of the things you've seen lately?
Well, you just hit it right on the mark there. Every supply chain supporting any industry that you want to talk about for highly engineered goods is trying to figure out how can they be more resilient, how can they be more self-sufficient for the markets that they serve. And in many cases, that does mean bringing products that are somewhere further down in that supply chain back onshore, where they can be less vulnerable to the kinds of disruptions that we've seen over the past 2 years.
Right.
And so that means the companies are thinking, does it make sense for them to invest in facilities in the United States to bring those products back? And companies aren't going to take those kinds of decisions lightly. They're going to look at where they have the best opportunity to have the workforce, to have the environment that is necessary in order to produce those kinds of products competitively. They certainly don't want to give up some of the cost advantages that they've had by having their products produced offshore. Right. And so what that means is that they have to be extremely intelligent about how they set up facilities here in the U.S. And in order to have the supply chain resilience, and in order to have the cost effectiveness that is going to make it worth the investment. And that's where CCAM comes in, because we have access to and experience in the technologies to help bring many of these tools together in order to help manufacturers to build those resilient supply chains. CCAM works with manufacturers, small and large, across the Commonwealth of Virginia and across the country, and really around the world as well, to help them understand and integrate a variety of technologies. You hear the term Industry 4.0 technologies and Industrial Internet of Things. Without going into a lot of detail, that essentially brings together a lot of things. The same kind of technology that is your new refrigerator telling you that you need to go out and buy a quart of milk is the same technology that machines and automated factory systems can use to help the people who are working in them, the advanced manufacturing workforce, to make the kinds of decisions that are going to support their organization to make great products and to be competitive.
Yeah.
And what we do at CCAM is to work with the manufacturers to help them bring those technologies to a point where they've taken the risk out of them and they can implement them confidently in their factories, so that when they push the button and they start their operation up, that they can do so confidently.
Yeah. Last one for you. I'm curious in terms of, as we talked about trends and obviously advanced manufacturing and the role it plays in bringing a lot of those jobs back home. And I'm just curious, from your point of view, what are some of the things that localities can do to make themselves more attractive, to make those possibilities real, not just for the locality itself, but also for the folks who want those jobs, who live in those places. What can they do to basically prepare themselves?
That's a great question. So one of the things that's kind of upstream of that is infrastructure. So many communities have great infrastructure now that's kind of off the table. To some extent. What is the biggest differentiator? And you'll hear people who are doing site selections for corporate investments and things like that. Their top three priorities are workforce, and workforce these days. And so essentially what that means is that if a company is evaluating whether a place is appropriate for them to come in and set up and do business, they want to know, are they going to be able to get the full spectrum workforce that they need to be able to operate their facility. And in today's labor environment, for all sorts of jobs, blue collar, white collar jobs, that is just of paramount importance. And when they say workforce, that's not just people with a 4-year education. The community college system is absolutely critical to success. So, having facilities in the area like Brightpoint Community College, absolutely critical to success. They have a lot of programs that support development of a workforce. The shirt that I'm wearing today is also representative of one of those programs. On one sleeve it says CCAM, on the other sleeve it's Richard Bland College, and in the center is the FAME program, the Federation for Advanced Manufacturing Education, that is a piece of that workforce development as well, preparing advanced manufacturing technicians for maintenance jobs to support these critical manufacturing operations. The 4-year program at the College of Engineering and Technology at Virginia State University that I also represent is a great resource. And so the best things that a community can do is to make sure that they're looking at holistically what do they have available locally in the community to be able to get people trained for any number of jobs, high school, 2-year associate's degree level, 4-year degree and beyond, to make sure that they're going to stay in the community. So many places talk about brain drain today. People grow up in an area and they're concerned because the bright people who've grown up in that community want to take opportunities that are elsewhere. And so one of the best things that a community can do is to have those opportunities right in their own locales that young people growing up or perhaps career switchers can take advantage of.
Good deal. Well, Lorin, thank you very much for coming on the podcast and talking to us today about advanced manufacturing. I very much appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
All right, and thanks to all of you out there for coming on this ride with us and learning more about advanced manufacturing and everything. From all of us here in Chesterfield, thank you very much for making this part of your day. See you again soon. Take good care.